Hey, good morning. Good Wednesday morning. It's I don't know. It's kind of a cold day. It's been warm for a couple of days, but welcome to another episode of Come On Ref. I just found out Brian can count backwards pretty well. That was surprising. Not surprising. I didn't mean to say surprising. That was whatever. I didn't mean to say surprising. Sorry about that, Brian. I think you can count backwards, man. What does that even mean? Let's just go to the table. Neal, Natalie, and Max today. What's going on, guys?
Not really. Like
Did you guys know Brian can count backwards? Apparently, I didn't know that. I don't know why I said surprising. I don't even know what I was going for there. I don't even know what I tried to say.
Know. I didn't know either.
It's been one of those weeks, man. My son's been really sick, and I feel like I've slept for like 5 minutes, like since Sunday night. So I don't know what's going on, but it should be interesting today. Hey, today is Max's last show, you guys. So Max, I can't believe has it been 6 months already?
I know, it doesn't feel like it. I feel like I've only been here for 5, but it is what it is.
6 months of mid takes, man. We're gonna miss it. We're gonna miss it.
All right.
I'm just kidding, man. I told you before the show, you haven't had a mid take in a while, man. You're doing fine. Neal and Natalie, you guys, what's been going on since last week, man? Anything?
I went to the Cavs game last night. It was lit.
Yeah. Half of this side of the table would agree. Yeah.
Yes. And I got the W, and a lot of people didn't expect that, like this one with the green on last night.
I was in the Cavs last night.
It was a lot of Boston Celtics fans there, though. It's a lot of them, baby.
Yeah. They travel well. I mean, it's a good fan base.
Good fan base.
Knowledgeable fan base. Right, Neal? I mean,
yeah. But listen, on some real deal, we talked about last night. Y'all shouldn't have won the game. If that ref would have called that bull crap foul that they had to review,
they challenged it.
They challenged it and won.
But Zingers tipped the ball in with 0.7 seconds left. Y'all should have won that game.
But it's a foul
But
when
Cleveland
it's not a
showed
foul when someone.
The ref called the foul. We gonna call our own fouls. This ain't street ball. So say what? Y'all gotta say about
what
the ref.
you talking about?
Come on, ref. But it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hater.
I just say Cleveland showed a little so I should wear it.
Well, hey, I mean, it was a good game. We can talk about it later, but I mean, I do agree. Like a lot of Boston Celtics fans are probably saying the name of the show last night for sure. But yeah, it was a good game, man. It was a good game. Funny. What do you think, man? What's next? Let's get into headlines, man. What are we going to talk about today? I guess we got it. Well, we talked about the Cavs win a little bit, and we'll get to that later. Did you guys see Matt Chapman sign kind of a weird deal? So so one side announced it as a 3-year, $54 million deal, but the Giants announced it as a 1-year, $18 million. I don't know. It's just a series of opt-outs that he has. It's like the Scott Boras thing. I don't know, man. Do you guys? I kind of feel like Scott Boras has like ruined certain parts of free agency in baseball. Would you agree with that?
I do.
I mean, I saw that he signed a 3-year, $54 million, but I didn't see that he signed. It was a 1-year.
Well, like I said, and this is what you get with like a lot of these Boras clients. Like you get like this. There's like an animosity between Boras and these teams, right? Scott Boras has always like pushed for these extreme contracts with like these really extreme, either long deals or like, in Chapman's case, he has, a 3-year contract, but it's all opt out. So it's essentially a series of 1-year contracts. Well, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with betting on yourself. I mean, I get it, but Boris's problem, I think, in the offseason, and I'll talk about this on another show, maybe a little bit more than I'm going to do this week. I know we don't want to get too in-depth with it, but you see a lot of these guys, they're still unsigned. I mean, we're a couple weeks into spring training, and a lot of Boras clients are still out there looking for a team, and they're not getting anywhere near the offers that they're looking for. I don't know. It's just like, is he doing his clients a disservice or not? I don't know. We'll see. Did you see Russell Wilson was released by the Broncos? You guys have any thoughts on that?
We see that coming. His contract.
The ride is burned to the ground.
Yeah. I mean, people keep talking about his next destination, but is he able to go somewhere and make a difference? I mean, right
now, if you look at it, I mean, he could go to Minnesota, do something there. Atlanta, if they don't draft a quarterback. It all depends.
Yeah. I just don't know if is he mobile enough to make a difference the way he used to be able to?
What he was.
No.
Sierra be beating him up.
Listen, I can relate. I mean, I get it, Yeah, I mean, time happens. Time goes by.
It wears a man down just like a wear a woman. But
Y'all blaming it on that. Oh, that's that was he beating him up, not beating. Never mind.
Russell Wilson,
All right.
just would never be like the Russell Wilson that I used to actually love. He used to be one of my quarterbacks, and it's just like it just went downhill.
The fact that he never won an MVP in Seattle is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
If he would be one of my top quarterbacks, he would have just hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, but you know.
They had to try to get fancy with it, didn't they? Man. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Pete Carroll still had a nice career. What else is going on? Jason Kelsey announced his retirement. I don't know if you guys saw that after 13 seasons. Man, Kelsey, Super Bowl champion, 7-time Pro Bowler, 6-time first team All-Pro selection. I found it interesting, his college career, man. Those Cincinnati teams went 37-14 with him there, kind of anchoring that offensive line, and they had 2 BCS bowl berths. I mean, not, the BCS championship, but BCS bowls. Back in the day. Just what a cool career. I mean, I think of like a lot of times, like he probably thought the pinnacle of his career was going to be playing alongside his brother in college, right? And then, I mean, now look at what his career has been. Pretty cool. You guys saw it last night. They honored him at the game. How cool was that moment, by the way, live? I mean,
It was cool. It was real cool. He put on the Rey Mysterio mask and stuff, and it was cool.
Make a drink.
It was.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I mean, by all accounts, a great family. I mean, great guys.
Like Stone Cold Steve
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They were cousins.
Yeah, hard to believe 13 years has gone by. I mean,
imagine playing 13 years in the locker room. His character, like, that'd be sweet. Like, he's a party person. Like, he can probably act it up. Like, I'm surprised we didn't have no news about it, but yeah.
I saw he jumped through the burning table, by the way. He had to do that.
Right.
You got to get that done once in your life, I guess. I don't know. It's never occurred to me to jump through a burning table. I mean, I've seen Bill's Mafia pull it off plenty of times, and now Jason Kelsey. But yeah, I don't think that's something I'm going to do, really, to be honest with you.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'll just sit at the table and eat, probably. I like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
What else happened? Yeah, man. Hey, Chris Mortensen. I know you guys, if you watched any sports at all, you grew up watching Chris Mortensen on ESPN. He passed away at 72 years old, man. I was really sad. This one hurt a little bit, man. Like, you see the people that you grew up with on TV, and they pass away, and it makes you sad because you realize, like, all that time's gone by, and that's someone who, entertained me. But, man, I feel like Mortensen did it in a different way. It just, like, you could feel his personality come through the screen, and it's like, hearing everyone talk about him, it sounds like, for all accounts, he was a better person than he was, a reporter. And he was a fantastic reporter. I mean, I can think of him on, Sunday NFL Countdown for I don't know how many years. He just seems like one of the constant faces. You see Tom Jackson on ESPN, Chris Berman, Chris Mortensen, Sal Palantonio. We lost him recently as well. And, man, it's like hard to see these guys go from your childhood. You see them on ESPN all the time, and it's tough when they're not around anymore. But, yeah, for sure. Thoughts and prayers to his family. I don't know if you guys have any memories of Mort, like growing up watching football or anything?
I was saw him at the draft.
Yeah.
I
know that.
So
like Ian Rappaport, like they'll report stuff and come back and they have to switch up. He never had to do that, so he always had to steady there.
Yeah. Seemed like Mortensen always had, just a really level-headed take, and I don't know, man. Sad to see that this week. That was yesterday. Sad to see, or no, a couple of days ago, I guess March 3rd. Sad to see that. Let's move on. What are we going to talk about? We've got college basketball stuff to talk about. How about the Buckeyes, you guys? Like, I mean, did you see what they did? They shot 71% in that second half against Michigan to really kind of just run away from the Wolverines. It feels good to say that, even though we're not talking about football, but it's whatever. Hey, are they going to make the tournament or no?
They have a chance.
Yeah.
So I think the only way they get in is they'll be like they have to make a run in the Big Ten tournament like they did last year.
That's fair.
But like, if they lose in the semifinals again, I think they're in. Because last year they didn't have the record to be in, but they made it to the semifinals. So I think if they play that kind of ball, I mean, they got to face Rutgers this weekend too. So that a win there would absolutely boost their chance. But
yeah, and then you get to the semifinals. You got 20+ wins. I mean, a pretty good recent, I guess, run on the schedule. That's sometimes we fall, kind of we fall victim to the recency bias, and maybe people will remember that. I don't know. I think they get in. I think they're playing well enough to get in now. I mean, I think they've been talented enough. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They'll be 8 or 9.
But you got to think, like I said, you got to play your tournament, anything you have. So
yeah.
No, not. It's not NBA playing. Like there's only the low.
The conference championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they can get in. I think, like I said, I think they've always been talented enough. I don't know. For some reason, Holtman just didn't have them motivated, and I don't know. I'm not sure why. I don't know why that didn't. I don't know why some coaches don't mix with some player. I don't know. I'm not really sure why that didn't work, but
I don't know
it
what's
just
going
didn't.
on with Deebers turning that whole thing around.
I believe it goes like marriage.
Yeah. And sometimes you wonder, is it just a fresh face? Is it just like, okay, well, we feel free now. Like we're out from under the old, and not that Holtman was a bad guy, but you start losing and they had that road losing streak and it just kept snowballing on them. And sometimes just to get out from under that might, feel good.
They started out pretty good, but those were against not two good teams.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're 10-1 outside the conference, but I mean, who did they play? You know what I mean? I saw they played Cedarville to start the season. I was looking at their schedule. Cedarville's like an NAIA school, and can't even think of the town. Yellow Spring. It's where Dave Chappelle lives. But yeah, I don't know. They're a tiny little school. So and they hung with Ohio State for a little bit. They ended up winning by like 30 something. But anyway, yeah, that's the point. I think they're playing well enough now to actually beat Big Ten competition. Obviously, I know Michigan's a little down and out, but yeah, I think they can get in. I think they do get in.
Michigan will not. Well, it's their first double. They won't be able to win double digits. They will be single-digit loss win column.
Yeah, basketball team had to give a little so the football team could run, I guess. Yeah. Whatever. It happens.
Yeah,
it's hard to have both going at the same time.
I would say Jordan Howard's last year there.
Yeah, probably, maybe. I mean, it's fallen off quickly, hasn't it? Like it's gotten bad.
Pretty boy.
What happened there?
I don't know.
What happened? He's slapping other coaches, and I mean, who knows?
He did have open heart surgery before the season too, so that might have been a big factor.
Yeah,
I think it's recruiting down there because when they went to that tournament run, he still had the players from the previous regime there. So ever since then, they had to do his own recruiting to get stuff off. So that's what I think.
Okay, that's a valid point. Not able to get his own guys in there and fill the system. I mean, that's a pretty good point.
In the Final Four.
Yeah, but I think all the players on that team was from their previous coach because he got fired.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I know you saw. I know you guys saw Caitlin Clark pass Pete Maravich. Now she's at 3,685 points for her career. Cool moment. I mean, it's amazing to me. Like, I don't think I've scored that many points on basketball video games in my life. I don't know, maybe, but like that's 3,685 points. I mean, if she has another year of eligibility, she said she's not coming back, but can you imagine how far out of sight she could put that record if she decided to come back for a fifth year?
Right.
No one would ever touch that.
There was two things I didn't like about the whole situation though with her point. One, she did have to pitch on mine. Like, I didn't like that.
Two was that call.
Two, it was against Ohio State. I didn't like that.
Well, yeah. Plus, if you look at why it was technical free throws, but the technical call was a bit iffy.
It was. I saw that. Yeah, it was.
The Ohio State player was walking to inbound, I think, and then Caitlin just turned into her, and Caitlin was like, "Oh, whoa, hey."
Yeah.
So it is,
I don't know if you guys ever like scroll through your reels and see the GTA mods where they turn off the physics of the game, but that's what it looked like. It was like Clark bounced into her and she just like flew off the other way. And I'm like, that didn't even look natural. Like, how do you like?
Right. It's like
the referee. I mean, come on, ref. Like, don't you just kind of look at that and go?
I think they were just trying to get that moment off the way.
Yeah, I think they wanted to make sure they had a stoppage to get her the record. I think that was something was going on there.
Kind of leads into what we're talking about next.
What are we talking about next, Max? How do you know what we're talking about next? I have all the answers right here. Listen, guys, so we got to talk about court storming because we talked about like how dangerous it can be, but now like people are saying, oh God, I don't know, man. Like people are pulling injuries, and I don't really think that like, are people flopping in these things? Are these players
Clark,
like?
Right, Caitlin Clark flopped.
I mean,
that's the only reason we'd be talking. She started the court storming talk.
Yeah, the kid from Duke followed right behind. I mean, you said it last night, Max. I mean, he's, 1 minute he's bumping knees and his life's in danger, and then he's throwing down like giant windmill dunks. Come on, I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's not what you want. Like, it's not ideal, but bro, like, come on. You acted like you were in the ICU over this. You know what I mean?
Right.
3 days later, you're fine.
Right.
I don't know.
It's like Caitlin Clark shoving the one girl and then acting like, oh, I hit my face. Oh, help me. My nose is broken.
A bad block.
Let me go onto the floor and cover my face and roll around for a minute. Ow.
Oh, my goodness.
So we report it alone. This player just gotta move out the way.
He's got to get off the floor. I mean, it's been happening for so long that you think they know. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
They just hate in that moment. Right? They had a hater moment.
Maybe we'll just go like, I don't know, like full Mad Max style, like not Mad, not you Mad Max, but like the movie. Like maybe when the game ends, like spikes just come up on the sidelines. You know what I mean? So if you come down out of the stands,
right.
Like, there you go. That's obviously the way to handle it. I mean, the humane way. I don't know, man. Yeah, people aren't going to stop storming the court. You're not going to stop it. Like guys holding a rope, I don't think is really going to. You just go under the rope. You know what I mean? Like it's not. People are still going to do it. And then people are going to get hurt because you're going to have a whole bunch of people holding the rope. They're going to get dragged out there. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Whatever. Teach these guys to disappear like that. Just throw the smoke thing down like Batman and disappear. That's what you got to do. I always thought that was so cool when I was a kid, man. I always wanted to do that, but turns out that's not a thing. What else? Sorry, Neal. Man, I'm sorry, man. We got to talk about this Celtics-Cavs game. It was pretty exciting, man. Like I haven't seen a game really end on a challenge like that, on a reversal of a call. Like it's been a while since I've seen that. Really, I don't think I've ever seen that. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I just don't know that I've ever been watching the end of a game where that's happened. You know what I mean? Neal, I want to start with you. First of all, how did you feel about that call? And second, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of a one-off thing, right? Like any team can lose to anybody, right?
It's an official come on ref moment. If he would have never made that bad call, but he just tipped the ball in with 0.5 seconds left, we didn't say we never had this conversation. So we're gonna be all right in Boston.
I think so. I think they're still okay, right? Like they're still the 1 seed by far, right? Natalie, you guys were there. Neal, Natalie, you guys were there. What was the crowd reaction like? Because I kept watching the replays on my phone just to hear, and then when I watched the replay of the game or whatever, I kept rewinding it just to hear the crowd reaction at that moment when they made the call. Because I love those moments. It's fun to see everybody explode. It was like the Strus, 54-footer the other night. What was that?
I'm recording right there by the stream team. So when it happened, I heard it all.
Okay.
All you saw was the white and gold stand up and cheer, and the green and white sit down.
The green and white sat down, man. All those little clovers were no. Neal, are you emotionally okay, Neal, to share that with us at some point? Will you share that video, or did you delete that already?
No, I got it.
Oh, you got okay. All right, maybe we can look at that sometime. Maybe next week's show we'll take a look.
I was live when I was doing it. Yeah.
I don't think we'll get shut down for showing that video. I think that's our that's our own property. I think we're allowed to do that. We'll find out. See what happens. We'll stream it live for about an hour and see what happens. What else happened? Yeah, I mean, the Cavs were down 22 in the fourth quarter. Like, what happened to the Celtics? I mean, what?
Let her put off the gas.
Yeah. Went into prevent a little bit, right? I mean, there's no prevent in basketball, but there's essentially, you can go into the prevent and just.
Thinking no Donovan Mitchell, we up 22.
They underestimated because Donovan wasn't in. They just thought they could,
And Mobley got hurt.
And Mobley, right.
Yeah. The Mobley thing concerned me. That was an awkward landing on that dunk. I mean, it didn't look good. And I mean, when you turn your ankle when you're 6'11", I mean, nothing. It's always tougher, right? I mean, joints are. Yeah, hopefully he can get back in there soon. Hopefully, Mitchell. I mean, I saw he had the plasma treatment or whatever. Like the PRP treatment or whatever. You don't have to go overseas for that anymore. So I guess that's nice.
Yeah.
You just have to go to Germany to do that. Well, not me. I never did it. I don't have that much money, but people who had that much money used to have to go to Germany to do that. And yeah, that's not a thing anymore. We can do that here. So that's good. Neal, I'll give you something good, man. The Celtics did beat the Warriors. I don't know. When was that? 140-88. Wow. I mean, that was a nugget, man. Worst loss of Steph Curry's career. What happened there?
You hear what Curry said after the game?
They didn't let their foot off the gas.
He said
they didn't let their foot off the gas. No, what did he say?
Curry said This is what we used to do to people. Right.
So is he admitting it's over? Is that what? They just extended Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr. They just extended Kerr. Is that it? I mean, at the end of that contract, I mean, that's Curry and Kerr's contracts will. I mean, they align now. They'll end at the same time. Is that it for the Warriors?
I mean, how old's Curry?
Hopefully, like 106. No, I don't want to say that because they're not even really a Cavs rival anymore. I still want to see him do well, man. I don't have anything against the guy. I don't know how old he is. He's got to be 34, 33, 34, right?
Oh, okay. The dynasty is dead.
What? I'm sorry, what?
The dynasty is over.
That's it. Are they ever going to get back into the playoffs? I mean, they'll be like a 4 or 5 seed, won't they? Next year, maybe.
Maybe.
Get Draymond Green straightened out a little bit, or no?
Oh man,
Klay Thompson out of his head.
he played off the bench.
Yeah. Boy, it just fell apart quickly, man. Like what? I mean, it really looks like they sold their soul for that that little run, and then I don't know. I mean, maybe adding Durant was like the worst thing. I don't know. It's like they became complacent as a roster, you know. And then when he left, it showed. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, they won against Celtics. How'd you forget? Oh yeah, he blocks that out. He blocks it out, guys. He blurs that memory.
It's too painful, man. It's too recent. You gotta let him. You gotta let him process it his way, man.
Hey, remember this? Night, night.
What's going on
Kurt
here?
did that to you, your boss.
Boy, we got Donald in the comments going off, man. I guess Donald doesn't like me, huh? That's fun. That's a good time, man.
Like you.
That's a good time, man. What else is going on? I guess we got to talk about the Western Conference. Since nobody ever watches, man. It's like late night, whatever. It's still kind of a 3-team race. I mean, Max, I know you sent me the notes that, like, some people would take. I don't think anybody's really taking over the West. I mean, even the Clippers are right there. They're 3 games back. I don't know who's going to win the West. I mean, I keep saying the Nuggets, but it's probably going to be the Nuggets, right? I think so.
You think? But I mean,
I don't know if they'll be the 1 seed, but
we knew Oklahoma City was going to have a resurgence. They've been rebuilding for years. But last year they didn't have Chet Holmgren, so this year with him in it, people were like, "Oh, what's going to happen? They're going to be good, not playoff worthy." They're in contention for the 1 seed.
yeah,
Didn't they have the 1 seed?
They had it, and I think they lost it. But
it's basically like a 3-way tie. Everybody's within like a half a game at the top. It's like,
and then Minnesota.
Nuggets.
No one expected Minnesota.
No, but they're there. They're hanging in. I mean, they're right there.
Right.
Hey. It's whatever, man. The Timberwolves are like me to Donald, man. They're annoying, but they just hang right there. They're not going anywhere, so you got to get used to it, right? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You can't do anything about it. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's going to be the Nuggets and Celtics in the finals. I don't think the Cavs beating the Celtics last night means that, like the Cavs have taken over the throne from Boston in the East, and now they're going to move on. And
the Cavs can make a run now they can get out of the first or second round. They may.
Yeah, they can, but I mean, they should have last year. Will they? I mean,
I don't think that. I mean, it was Mobley's first time in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I understand that. Jared Allen was a bench guy, so he didn't have to play much in the playoffs when Brooklyn was in it.
Yeah,
so I understand it, but like
he still contributed a little bit. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
right. I mean, this year you beat Boston. What, they beat them how many times? Twice? 3 times maybe?
I don't recall that.
Blocked out the finals from when you lost to Golden State. No, but they've beaten Boston 2 or 3 times this year. They've beaten good teams. I mean, the only reason they lost to the Knicks is, Donovan Mitchell was a key factor in that game.
Yeah.
And Evan Mobley was just straight hot dog water. And Jalen Brunson last year in that series was just, Neal said he was on fire. So it's a thing that I think they can make a run to the second or third round. It's just that they need to get healthy first.
It'd be nice. I mean, they need to be more physical when the playoffs come around. I think they need to realize that there's a difference in regular season basketball and playoff basketball. I don't know if half the roster got that.
I don't think they realized, we have to go play these guys again.
Yeah.
And then you win, and then, we're not playing a different team.
Yeah, and we showed them everything in game 1. You know what I mean? Like we showed them everything we had, and that wasn't enough. So.
And then game 2, we went out and won, blew them out the water that game. And then game 3, 4, 5, like, we got to play these guys again.
Yeah, the gentleman sweep in the first round isn't going to cut it again. You know, it's not going to get it done. They're a better team than that. They're more talented than that. Yeah, I mean, the boys said the biggest thing is getting healthy. I agree. I mean, you got to have everybody out there at the same time. Man, yeah, you just got to have everybody out there. It's hard to the Cavs really haven't had that all year. You know what I mean? Yeah, Chris. Yeah, that's fair. And yeah, I do agree. The boys said growing pains in the playoffs. It's a struggle of a young team. Yeah, you got to grow. You got to progress. You have to go through those moments to, the important thing is building on them, right? Like you got to build on them and take the next step. You can't let them.
Right now, you give other players more playing time so they can use that role too. So.
Yeah. You have to get away from the 8-man rotation. They can't do that again in the playoffs. Or maybe they can, but they got to figure out something.
That's going deeper into his bench this year.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing.
Well, and I give him all the props in the world, man. Yeah, Donald, get healthy. I give him all the props in the world for just completely changing up the play style in the middle of the season. I mean, they just said, look, this isn't working. We're going to scrap it. We're going to try something else until we maybe get back to whatever, full force or at least 80% of what we're supposed to be. We're gonna try something different, and it's worked.
That's good coaching.
Yeah, it's good coaching. Yeah, it's good self-awareness. I mean, a lot of coaches just won't really do that. I mean, it's they're aware of the highway sometimes, and that's what gets good coaches fired. That stubbornness, and I think that's one thing that it's a little off topic, but I think that's what Urban Meyer was really good at. Maybe not so much in the NFL. I don't know what happened in the NFL.
One person that did that, and it was good. That was Phil Jackson.
Yeah. Phil Jackson is the best example, and we're talking about basketball, so maybe that's where I should have gone first. Thanks. That's a good job out of you. Phil Jackson, just use what you have to your advantage and just keep using it because it's not broken. Don't fix it. Right. Yeah. Donald, that's a great point, man. You're either winning or learning. Yeah, I agree. But you have to take those as lessons. You have to turn those losses into lessons, right? Like you have to move. The boys think you talk about how Doc Rivers is the most overrated coach of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Stop. No, look what you did, Chad.
Wait a minute. Did he win a championship?
Here we go.
Did he win a championship? Where was that? In Boston. I don't want to hear that. Don't talk about Doc. We're going to talk about
Deep
Doc.
thoughts with Neal. Neal, let's hear what you have to say about it,
Deep
man.
thoughts with Neal. From Boston. Their cousin. From Boston.
Oh man. What else are we going to talk about? Yeah, I mean, when's Mitchell coming back? He's got the bone bruise in his knee. We talked about the platelet-rich plasma treatment. What's it? Do we know a timeline? I know he's just kind of like day to day, right?
3 games. So this game tonight and the Minnesota game on Friday. But then they're going to reevaluate it after that. So it could be 4 or 5. I would like it to be 4 just to give him an extra day. Well, I mean, he's got days in between. But I think they'll rotate him in game action, but they won't let him play much. Like JB, he's done a great job of getting Mobley and Garland back from those injuries. Like him limiting their minutes to get them back to game speed, that's pretty good. So I think that's what he'll do to Mitchell. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Sometimes I get it, man. I'm old. I forget what I'm saying halfway through my sentences too, Max. It's okay.
Yeah, my fault.
Sometimes I fall asleep. I mean, I haven't done it on the show yet, but we'll see. Got a lot of time. It's tough being old, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, the bone bruise is tough. Hopefully Mobley won't be out too long. I haven't heard anything. I wasn't really looking this morning too much. I was just sort of like spending some time with my son or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he won't be out too long. That's tough though, man. That looked rough. What else we got? Let's talk about baseball. You guys want to talk about baseball for a little bit?
Yeah.
Spring games are still going on. Uniforms still look really bad. It's like every day, man. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but that's awful, and no one's taking accountability for it. Like Fanatics is like, well, it's not us, and Nike's like, well, we have a track record. It wasn't us. So who was it? I mean, whose fault is it? Whatever, doesn't matter. Guardians are off to a slow start. Do you have any concerns about their lineup? They're going to be so young, man. Really, really young.
My concern is the outfield right now,
Yeah.
and maybe shortstop. Because catching, third base, second base, first base are set. Left field is set.
Well, what do you mean by set though? Because you've got guys that are they're. I mean, you've got really young guys. I mean, you got Rocchio and Manzardo that are probably gonna come out of break at on that infield. I don't know if that can be considered
Well, no,
set.
I'm saying, yeah, that I agree with that. I don't know if Straw's gonna get. Straw's our fielding center fielder.
Yeah,
So it's
like who's going to be in those positions, but I don't know if I'd call them set. Is that fair?
I mean, I know. I mean, third base is set.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Third base is as set as it gets, and yeah.
Second base is set. Jimenez, two back-to-back Gold Glover, and what?
Yeah. Then you're looking at Manzardo and Rocchio, and it gets a little choppy after that.
Right. I mean, right field. We do still have Ramon Laureano. So I'm assuming it's between him, Brennan. I don't know there, and then center field is. I'm just. What the heck? I don't really know.
It seems like I don't mean to. I'm not trying to throw stones, but it feels like the Guardians have a lot of guys that are like, not the third guy in a 2-man platoon, but like 2.5 in a 2-man platoon. Does that make sense? Like they're there. They're good players,
Right.
but they're just not like. They're not 1A or 1B. They're kind of like 2A a little bit.
Right.
It's tough, man. It's tough to make those decisions.
I mean, in shortstop, it could be Arias, it could be Rocchio. I'd like it Rocchio because Rocchio can actually hit,
Yeah.
and Arias can like hit on the occasion. But I'd like to have a bat,
Yeah.
a couple good bats.
Bieber bat.
Bieber can throw.
Yeah. I mean, having Bieber and McKenzie healthy is a big deal. I don't know if you saw the comment by the boys. If they're not in it by June, yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys are going to be gone. I would say Clase and Bieber would be the first two to go. I think maybe you keep Naylor and try to build something with him, especially with a former catcher as a manager.
If we get rid of Naylor, then they're going to get rid of Bo.
Yeah, yeah.
That means last year when they traded Josh Bell, I was okay with that because we needed a bat. He can't really hit right now.
He just never got it going. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we traded Savali at the time where he was on fire.
Yeah.
I was like, fourth and goal. We're punting from the goal line.
Hey, the boys said, by the way, still waiting on the Angels to sign Montgomery or Snell. I was thinking about this now. Right. The boys, those guys are Boris clients. You got Ron Washington over there now in Anaheim, or not Anaheim, but Los Angeles, wherever they are. The Angels.
They're in Anaheim.
I know the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Disney Ducks, whatever they are. No, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to mess with the Boris clients. I mean, they might take them on like a 1-year deal, but I don't know.
I mean, Snell.
You did say they're getting time by the end of this week. You did say that.
Snell is the Cy Young winner.
Yeah.
I remember us talking about this back in October, and we weren't sure, but we know now that he's one of the big guys right now.
Yeah.
You know it.
What?
You know it.
He won the Cy Young last season.
You know it this year?
Maybe.
Yeah, and can't get signed. Listen, again, Scott Boras not doing anybody any favors. I mean, ultimately the player has the power to sign the contract or not sign the contract. I get that, but I mean, with Boras telling you, "Hey, hold out for 12 years, $360 million or whatever," and then teams are coming back with 3 years, $52 million. There's a huge difference there, right? Like, God, there's a big disconnect. I just don't think his style works anymore. I just don't think it works. I think it's outdated. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the boys are right. He's only in it for himself. I mean, he's already made such a huge. He's just got an empire. I mean, at this point, just man, go away, stop, go lay down, take a nap, whatever. I need a nap. Oh, what else is going on?
You don't like him for real. You know your true feelings about him right now. You don't like him. He just told him to go take a nap.
Yeah, man. I mean, go lay down, man. It's over. Sometimes you see people driving, they're going like 30 and a 45. You're like, hey, like, maybe it's time to lay it down. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's time. You know what I mean? Whatever. So Scott Boras, lay it down. Hey, man, Dodgers and the Padres are going to open up the season in South Korea. I don't know if anybody saw that or not, but that's kind of cool, right? Splitting home games in South Korea.
They used to do that in Japan too.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys feel? The stadium's a little small, 16,000 people, just a little over 16,000 people. It's a cool. I think it's the Gochuck Sky Dome. I'm not sure how to say it, to be honest with you. I didn't look it up. But it's a cool place. Like I've seen a lot of games played there during COVID. They were showing the Korean Baseball League. And I watched a lot of that. Man, it was on like 6 in the morning or whatever. So you could get up with the kids and watch some baseball. If you're wondering, by the way, these games will be aired on ESPN at 3:05 a.m. So if you want to, I don't know, you staying up or you getting up for these or what are you doing?
I'm gonna be in bed.
You gonna be in bed? Yeah, you're an old man, man. It's past your bedtime. No, I get it. No, it will be loud. The boys, you're right, man. It'll be it'll be a playoff type. And listen, the fans are gonna love to see this, man. I mean, there's a lot going on, on both of these rosters. I think.
They'll get to see Shohei.
Yeah.
Wei-Sung Kim.
Yeah, you got Yamamoto now. I mean, there's some people that you're gonna know. There's some people they're gonna recognize and want to see, man, for sure. It's gonna be fun. And I do love the atmosphere. Have you guys ever watched the Caribbean World Series?
Yamamoto. What's up, Tim?
I was enjoying that. I didn't want to interrupt that. Oh, that was fun. Have you guys ever watched the Caribbean World Series? Have you seen those games?
The Korean World Series, yeah.
Not the Caribbean World Series. Sorry.
Oh no. So is it like the Cancun Super Bowl?
Man, well, listen, no, it's just the atmosphere is wild, man. It's just like people have thunder sticks and they're yelling, they're chanting. I mean, it's like they never stop chanting and like, dude, the atmosphere is unreal. It would be so much fun as a player, man. I think like more fun than probably most major league crowds. I mean, maybe the Phillies are up there. They have a pretty good time there, but my goodness, man, it's a cool atmosphere. It's a really, really cool atmosphere.
The Phillies are pretty rowdy fans because, I mean, they let people on top of their stadium, on top of the roof.
Yeah, that was wild. Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you remember you brought it up, so that seems like a weird question. But yeah, I do. I think the Phillies are up there. The Phillies are probably, Braves fans are kind of boring, man. Come on, like I'm a Braves fan, but that stadium never seems like it's that live. Like it's, I don't know, it's okay.
Astros fans are pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, it seems like the stadiums that are more like boxy like that kind of hold the sound in. Maybe that's a factor too.
Guardians fans are pretty wild too when it comes to big games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been down there for playoff games and for late season, whatever, division clinching game. Yeah, it gets loud down there too, for sure. Yeah. It gets loud for sure down there. But yeah, I love the atmosphere of this Caribbean world. I've always wanted to go. I want to be like, kind of in the middle of that, man, just in the stands watching that. Just, I don't know, just experience everything. I think that'd be fun. It'd be more fun to play, but that's not going to happen. So, yeah, whatever. What is going on? The boy said, I would love to see a Christmas game for the Phillies so baseball fans can throw snowballs at Santa. I mean, seriously, remember that?
That would be fun.
That's ruthless, man. They were putting batteries in snowballs and man, Philadelphia fans are ruthless, man. They're wild.
I mean, Philadelphia recently got rid of their $1 dog night.
Yeah.
Citing that the fans got too rowdy for hot dogs.
Too rowdy for hot dogs, man.
Yeah, literally, they said the crowd. They cited the reason why they stopped it is because the rowdy crowds.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
What about playoff baseball? Like, what do you mean?
Hey, man, listen, guys. Hey, please help me out. If you ever see me at the point where I'm getting rowdy for hot dogs, please help me lay down. Please, it's time to go lay down.
Please help me spell Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
You want to go take a nap? That's all you want to go do.
Only one what? Only one the boys, only $1 dog night for the Guardians? Are they too rowdy for hot dogs in Cleveland too?
No. What do you mean?
I've been to a $1 dog night. They're fine.
What did COVID do to us, man? What happened?
They get drunk.
I don't know. Y'all did burn LeBron's jersey.
Baseball game, but
y'all did burn LeBron's jersey when he left here. So.
Man, it's only the last Friday night of the year. That's wild. I didn't know that. It's like breaking. We should get the breaking news thing going here, man. Yeah, Donald, no hot dogs for me. I'm sad, bro. Now I'm sad. Oh, see, now I gotta go lay it down. Now I'm getting rowdy for hot dogs. What happened? 2 minutes ago, I told you to help me, man. I did it to myself. That's wild. Speaking of wild, man, hey, listen, we got to talk about football. But before we get into the football side of it, did you guys see, this Chiefs fan, did you guys see this, man? Chiefsaholic or whatever? So this dude was like traveling everywhere with the team, and then he went missing for weeks, right? No one knew where he was. People were concerned because he had like a huge online presence. I think like 100,000 followers or so. So people are like, man, where's Chiefsaholic? It turns out he was in jail. He was robbing banks to fund this stuff, man, to have to show this lavish lifestyle. Now you know where some of it comes from on Instagram, I guess.
$80,000 bet versus Chiefs versus the what game was it? Chiefs versus.
I mean, he also went to prison for money laundering, so.
Man, yeah, he admitted to stealing more than $800,000, man, from 11 banks. That's wild.
He comes straight to the game with a wolf mask on with those. Never showed nobody his face, take pictures and everything else like that. And then going and hitting banks. He hit 11 banks. Yeah,
I kept wondering. I never saw it. Was he dressed like Chiefs-aholic going into the banks?
He was dressed as a wolf.
Going to rob banks?
Yeah.
No, not going to rob banks.
Oh,
probably
in the
bank,
game.
at the game. So he probably robbed banks in black attire.
Face
masks, everything.
I think he went in there dressed up like Jackson Mahomes, trying to stir up trouble. That's what I think. That's just my
Let me do a dance on who's that? Sean for the Commanders.
Sean Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, let me do a dance on that memorial logo.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, man. Come on. He's got to be more aware than that, right? They got to get him some help and stuff like that, man.
Right.
Hey, but listen, he did redeem him. Like you heard the story about him helping the kid, whatever. There was a kid that was lost during the shooting in Kansas, and he helped the kid. That was a cool story, man. He didn't have to do that. He could have just run and ducked for cover and jumped into a car or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, dude, you got to give him his props.
I'm serious. I wonder what was going through that kid's head when that happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this Jackson Mahomes?
He was probably like, man, why did I get this Mahomes? Like, I couldn't even, come on. You know what I mean? But probably not, but that's okay. Right. What else happened, man? Hey, Saquon Barkley is going to be a free agent. You guys have any thoughts on this? I have a weird thought. Do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I do. I feel like it's kind of messed up. They did it like that because he got paid last year. Now the running back market is so good. With all these running backs coming out of the draft, his market is not going to be as high. So I feel like that the Giants kind of screwed him on that one.
Derrick Henry's a free agent.
Yeah, they told me that, but now they talking about the Giants might try to sign him back. Yeah, because they're going to get him at a cheaper deal because all the players on the market are the ones that's going in the draft. So especially the draft is
well, we talked about it before. I mean, are any running backs getting signed really for anything this year? I mean, we talked about how they might kind of bit.
They probably knew if they tagged him again, and then next year they didn't. So if they tagged him this year, and the next season they didn't, they knew he wasn't coming back.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he's going back now?
He might if they give him. Dude, look what they gave Daniel Jones for 4 games of work.
And where's Daniel Jones got working out right now?
Well, and listen, I have a theory on this because I've heard rumors that Barkley might be interested in going to Tampa Bay.
What's up, Chad?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you guys were talking. That's my fault. Yeah, that's my bad. I'm sorry about that. I had just heard rumors that Barkley was maybe interested in going to Tampa Bay.
I heard Baltimore. I heard Baltimore.
You heard Baltimore? See, that would be. I don't like that. I don't love that at all.
Every running back looks like they want to go to Baltimore. Derrick Henry was rumored to be traded to Baltimore during the trade deadline.
That would be terrible for the Browns. That'd be terrible.
I mean, every time we face Derrick Henry, we shut him down.
Yeah, but when you got to face him twice a year now, I don't think.
I mean, if Saquon signs with the Ravens, then we got to face him twice a year.
I don't like that either. Yeah, go to Tampa Bay. Listen, here's what I think. If Saquon goes to Tampa Bay and plays with Baker Mayfield, is that telling us what we need to know about Daniel Jones and maybe that Baker Mayfield was right all those years ago when he said it?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield proven himself right in a lot of ways, though. Like,
yeah,
he won the playoff game. Then he had no bad years at Carolina.
I just don't like how we gave up on him so easily.
No, it's tough. It's a tough look, man. Baker was playing the long game the whole time. It's working out for him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
y'all was laughing when he was sleeping in the stadium.
You say what?
Y'all was laughing when he was sleeping in the stadium. Now he's going.
For the commercials. Oh my God. No, but
I heard he still lives there. By the way, I think he still squats there. I think.
Right.
He probably does.
Get off my lawn.
Where it's hot. He ain't coming down here sweating Cleveland where it's cold. He might get paid this year.
He will.
And he made it to the Pro Bowl.
I also saw Mike Evans re-signed with the Buccaneers. So you don't think he would sign a 2-year, $52 million contract? I think 35.
That's what he was waiting for. He was waiting for what happened with Mike Evans.
Man, Neal lost his lid. Man, he's losing his lid. Man, the hat came off. Do you think? So you got to think. I mean, obviously Mike Evans knows who the quarterback's going to be, right?
Even the general manager came out and said they're working out. They're bringing Baker back. So
yeah. Well, everyone says he's not going to take a hometown discount, but
I mean, Baker said it. earlier before when free agency started. He said, "I am waiting until Mike Evans signs."
And
That's what I'm doing.
Look at the shoes he filled when he came into Tampa Bay. He was replacing the great Tom Brady. Tom Brady just had left and he came back. And they didn't win a playoff game. They won a playoff game. So
Yeah.
And in the division.
And it was almost pretty seamless, man. He did a nice job there. I thought he did a nice job. Did you guys see anything with did you guys watch the combine at all this weekend?
I watched a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't see as much as I wanted.
Like we just watch the men in tights run.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Like, you gotta hit something like I don't really watch it.
Neal, I get it, and none of it means anything when it comes to football either, man. Like the only thing I really ever like to watch is I like to watch the quarterbacks throw, and that's about it. I get updates on my phone every time something happens. Xavier Worthy ran a 4.21. I mean, my phone told me. I didn't need to watch it. Like, what am I missing? It didn't even take 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But yeah, 4.21 is wild, honestly. That's crazy. That's crazy fast, right? Like, I don't know, man. Who else the John Ross, I guess, ran a 4.22.
Was that faster than
Yeah.
Did you see they were talking crazy, really crazy? Cooper to John. He said his favorite band, or what did he say? His favorite band was Creed or something. I can't remember what he said. There was all kinds of wild. One did say he didn't believe in space. Did you see the Texas Tech linebacker say he didn't believe in space? Bro, I mean, you can look into space. Like, what are we talking about? I don't know. Whatever. Some wild things going on at the combine. But yeah, like I said, I find myself kind of bored with it every year. And I get why more of these guys are opting out because, listen, if someone told you 4 weeks ago who was going to draft you, and yeah, the boy said birds aren't real. You're right. Where's the picture of the craft from last week, man? No, I don't know. Yeah, I get it. If someone tells you 4 weeks ago where you're going to get drafted, what number, where you're going, what's your boat, are you working out at the combine? I'm not.
That's what Caleb Williams said. He said the reason why he didn't do the medical work at the combine or the combine in general was because not 32 teams aren't going to get a chance to pick him. He'll be gone. He'll be gone before top 5, maybe. Unless someone just goes AWOL and chooses someone other than Caleb Williams.
Well, but most likely these teams have at least some kind of line of communication with these guys. Like, you know, and for the most part, especially if they have an agent, which I know Caleb Williams doesn't, which is I don't really understand. I'm not really sure I understand that move from him. But whatever. That's another topic.
Remember, Chad, when Caleb Williams gets drafted, he wants a percentage of ownership in that team.
Okay.
Remember that. He
Okay.
said that. He said he wants a percentage of ownership in that team.
Cool. And when we're done recording this show, I'd love to walk out in the hallway and find a briefcase with $1 million.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Like,
Those
right.
things aren't going to happen. Like, they're not going to happen. I had heard, and listen, this may be just teams mudslinging because they want him to fall to 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 or whatever. But I've also heard that his dad's trying to like negotiate, you know, beyond the rookie contract for his first, you know, whatever, which clearly, I mean, the Players Association has a thing in place. It's not going to happen. Like, you can't do that.
Right. You can't.
But you can't even believe any of these reports either. That's the thing. Like, this stuff is all smoke and mirrors. Like, none of this could be happening. I mean, Caleb Williams can be behind the scenes doing everything right. You know?
If Caleb Williams doesn't perform well, he is bad. Like, really bad.
Yeah.
Like, 1 interception turns into 4.
Please, Chicago, pick him up.
Chicago, don't get him.
Please,
You want him in your division if that's how he's going to play, right? Yeah.
It's just Please pick him up.
My dad, there it is, guys. I said it. No, but he said that
The max dad counter.
he said he'd like him to go to Atlanta. That's where he's from. Justin Fields.
Can we get a round of applause just for the one last Max's dad counter? It warms my heart, man. The kids love it. You heard him. Happy to see it, man. You love to see it. Yeah, honestly, I forget what we were talking. What were we talking about?
Caleb Williams.
Williams. That's right. Hey, listen, I have a question too. Like, who's gonna be the first quarterback off the board? I mean, there's a lot of question about that.
JJ McCarthy? Are you
They've
kidding
been
me?
blowing his name up so
What
bad.
did I
bro.
say last
They've
week?
been
He
blowing.
can't throw the ball.
He can't, but they blowing his name up, man.
No,
All I'm
no,
hearing about
you're
is
insane.
JJ.
You're loony.
JJ. All right.
Listen, man,
JJ
when Harbaugh
Williams
said that
off the
JJ
board.
McCarthy was going to be the first quarterback off the board, I said it on the show. Like, if I'm the if I'm the LA Chargers, I'm looking at each other like other front office guys. Like, is it too late to fire him? Like, can we
Listen
get?
what's going on? All this mock draft, and he slowly keep coming up the board.
I'd see him
Then he was
going.
at the pro day. Draft stocks.
I'd see him. All right, I'd see him go to Denver or Minnesota.
Listen, this is happening.
Those are reasonable.
This is happening with other quarterbacks. Like, what's the quarterback?
Yeah,
Niggas picked up that could throw the ball 100 yards sitting on his knees. And they blow up quarterbacks all the time like this, bro.
I mean, Joe Milton's going to be picked early. I know that.
Browns fans
Did you
should
see
know.
what he did?
Look, Browns fans should know how they blow up quarterbacks and y'all pick them up too hard.
No.
I mean, I think you've got a lot of quarterbacks that can be really good out of this class.
Right. JJ McCarthy, I think he fits into Denver well because I think Sean Payton can mold him into another Drew Brees.
If Sean Payton doesn't get grumpy, I don't know. I mean, are they going to get along? I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. That's a
Sean
good
Payton
point
seems
right there.
grumpy now. I don't know. Is he grumpy? What's going on?
Hey, that was the worst trade in Denver's history, though.
I mean, hey, I think we can put the Deshaun Watson trade to bed now because that Russell Wilson trade was horrible.
Man.
I
Yeah,
mean,
which one was worse?
We knew that Watson was going to get suspended, but we didn't expect him to have a shoulder surgery or an injury. That's another thing. Russell Wilson didn't have an injury. He had two coaches.
He got married.
That
Deshaun
move.
Watson ain't.
That
Yeah.
ain't got nothing to do with it.
No. Watson hasn't gone through two coaches.
I don't know. I think when you're the second richest person in your family as an NFL quarterback, you get a little less hungry, right? Like maybe he was just like, hey, like, why do I do this every year? I don't like, hey.
Right, married. He got married.
I don't know.
Once you get comfortable with certain things, you
You
just
start,
tend to,
and when you out there, you
kind of
do
fall off a little bit.
right.
It was doing high knees in the airplane. What are we talking about?
Hey,
see
the
the comment.
ride
You see the
is
boys'
over.
comment?
The ride
What's
ran out
over?
of gas. Someone
Who's
cut
out of
the
gas?
brake lines.
The plane's out of gas? That's not good. We got to land that. Where's Sully when you need him? Oh, Russell Wilson was doing high knees in the airplane. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
Oh yeah,
fun.
you never heard that?
No. Well, I mean, probably.
High
I don't
knees
know.
on a team plane at midnight. In the
Bro,
aisle.
just sit back there and play cards like everybody else. Come on.
I would have said,
I would have
sit
beat him up,
down.
bro. Like, bro, you trying to take my life, bro. What? I would have beat him up on that plane. I would have got released when we landed, like, on guard. Like, bro, what are you doing? You trying to knock me up, man? I would have beat him up.
Neal's plane would have landed with the emergency door hanging open, man. Like, where's Wilson?
I would have opened the emergency door and said, see you, Russell.
See you later.
The ride's over.
Russell Wilson is DB Cooper, man. See ya.
Got married.
That's funny. That's funny, man. Well, that's cool. So Max would throw Russell Wilson out the plane, man. Now we know.
Pushed him out, didn't throw the parachute afterwards.
The ride is
Right.
on fire.
It'll catch you. Terminal velocity, man. You'll catch up to it. Just, go like this and you'll be
Do
fine.
high knees all the way down.
High knees all the way
down. Ooh, I'm doing it in the air.
I just picture Russell Wilson falling at like 86 miles per hour doing high knees. Like, come on, fellas.
What's up, Gary?
Come on,
And
man.
then he lands perfectly, like he lands like a feather.
Yeah, I mean, why would you play euchre or spades or anything when you could just do high knees? Like, I don't understand.
And then Future dropped new song next week, High Knees.
Oh my gosh.
That's so.
High Knees,
Well.
yeah.
He's about to high knee his way to a 5-12 season somewhere next year, man.
Right.
Whatever. What else is there? Is there anything else, man? You guys have anything else?
F1's back. I know we forgot to mention
What?
that. Formula One is back.
Oh, F1. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I was supposed to mention that at the beginning of the show, and I flipped it. I'm doing it at the end now. My bad. Yeah. Formula One's back. I forgot. I forgot to mention
There's
that.
a-
Does anybody besides Max watch Formula One racing?
I do it every day.
Do you really?
On the way here from school, I do it
Oh,
every
you
day.
see that?
Yeah.
You get on 480. All right, I got you.
No, but recently, so this week is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and it's a street course, right? So Saudi Arabia, they're thinking about building a $2.5 billion racetrack, right?
Yeah.
First turn of that racetrack, you will go from ground level 20 stories in the air, do a hairpin turn, and back down.
Oh, they might as well just put the loop there.
20
You guys ever do the stunt races on GTA? That sounds like a stunt race on GTA. Like that's like
Right.
driving in the clouds.
20-story turn, hairpin around and down, and the rest is flat.
Oh, that's slick.
So how long is that turn drawn out?
It's a small video. Just look it up on like Twitter or something. Like look up Saudi Arabian racetrack.
Okay, next week we're getting Neal's video of the Cavs game last night, and we're getting this racetrack video on the show. We're going to show these on the show next week.
I'll come back to the show next week just to watch.
Yeah,
this
you got to come
video.
back now, man. Yeah, you can't leave. You don't have to leave.
The ice football, I still ain't seen that. Nobody's seen that.
You just look
That
for
sounds
Mark
like a Red Bull
Bruce
stunt.
ice football, and you'll find it.
Next year it'll be Saudi Arabia has a turn that goes into space, and then you have to parachute your car down or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right, it's like Speed Racer. We're going Speed Racer mode.
That sounds.
I know,
I would
man.
watch that.
My son's back into Lightning McQueen. We mentioned Cars on the show last week, and now he's back into Lightning McQueen, man.
He's
Just like
back.
that.
Has he seen all the
Back.
Cars
Running
movies?
back. That was Neal, right? Neal said that.
Now, has he seen all the Cars movies?
Oh yeah, hundreds of times. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, you know what comes for the
The
thunder?
building.
Lightning.
There you go. Always lightning before the thunder.
Big,
I think I think that's probably a good time to get out of here, man. I think it becomes before our thunder. What do you guys think, man? Another good show? I think it was a good show.
It was a good show.
I had fun. I think we need to save that the picture of the wreck from the NASCAR race. It pretty much applies to every show now. I think we can put that up at multiple points on every show. I think
Wrecking point.
that's all right. And we got one more Max's dad reference in there. I love it, man. And what else? Yeah, new sign off from me, man. Ka-chow. I like that. I'll probably get sued by Pixar for that, but that's fine. I don't have any money. I'm not going to get anything. Hey, listen, we appreciate you guys watching. For Neal, for Natalie, and for Max on his last show. Hopefully not ever. You're going to come back, right, Max?
I'll be back next week, but this is my last official show.
He'll be back next week, but this is his last official show. He's just going to come crash the room. They don't have a lock on the door, so they can't keep him out.
Right.
That's what we can do. He'll at least go in the glass. You see the glass behind you. You can put his face on the glass. You know what I mean? You know,
I'll sneak in that little grass part. I'll be like, let me in.
Yeah, I'm disappointed we never. Yeah, the boys. I'm disappointed we never got your dad on the show, man. Maybe next week we do that.
I should.
We have him call in.
Talk to him.
Let's talk to him. Let's get him to call in. We need him to call in on the show next week, man. All right.
That'd be slick.
All right. Well, next week on the show, Neal's video, the Saudi Arabian 20-story turn, and Max's dad, right here on Come On Ref. Hey, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.